Good morning, beloveds. I'm coming to you a touch early because I am sitting in my car getting ready to go get my hair cut. And then once I get my hair, my mane tamed, we are headed for Galveston. We are going to go to Dickens on the Strand. I'm very excited. On my 40th birthday, Dickens happened to be on my 40th birthday, and I turned to my husband and my friends and I said, what I want for my 40th birthday is I want to go to Dickens on the Strand. And so we have been every year since, except for obviously 2020 during COVID. I've worked it a couple of times for the nice lady that I work for at Ren Fair. This year, I'm marking that 10-year, and so we're excited. We're just going a little later than usual because normally we're there when it opens because, haircut that was scheduled almost a year ago, which I didn't think about. So that's what it is. All right. It is December 3rd. Our title is When All Else Fails, Ask Questions. The first quote is, If thou, Lord, shouldest mark iniquities, O Lord, who shall stand? But there is forgiveness with thee. And that is Psalm 130, 3 and 4. The second quote is, the answer to every question is within people, because people are within spirit, and spirit is an indivisible whole. And that is Science of Mind, page 365. A worthy spiritual philosophy should be able to stand questioning and testing. Ernest Holmes always invited students of Science of Mind philosophy to prove its principles in their lives. He knew that no spiritual system is alive and vital unless its adherents work with its tenets and see results within their own experience. The wisdom of past and present inspired writers may give us ground upon which to stand, but their knowing is not our knowing, and we must personally cultivate our own spiritual awareness. We should have no fear in examining our beliefs, for truth can withstand all scrutiny and is not diminished by it. We can, in fact, feel totally free to question because there is no resentment by the infinite presence of our inquiries. God stands ready to enlighten, heal, nurture, support, and respond to the open heart of the one who longs for spiritual insights. Never let us shrink from exploring what we believe as we continually move into an ever greater awareness of our spiritual reality. God creates all that is, and I daily use divine wisdom in all that I think, say, and do. I ask for and receive knowledge, inspiration, and healing. All my doubts are dissolved in the light of spiritual understanding, and I am deeply grateful for the growing spirituality that is mine. And that is M.S. Margaret Stortz. When all else fails, ask questions. Okay, so I'm a big believer in asking questions. I love to ask questions. I'm forever asking questions. And I'm frequently met with, well, I don't know. But here's where you can look. And that's one of my favorite things is like, people ask me questions and I'm like, well, I don't know, but let's go find out. And that's the fun thing about asking questions. In Science of Mind, one of the first things that we thoroughly encourage you, test this out, road test this. And so we talk about parking spaces. It's like, or green lights, treat for green lights, treat for parking spaces. And that's one of the ways that it's a simple and it's silly, but it's effective. And it's one of those first ways where people start gaining confidence in, oh, wait, this stuff actually works. And then you start testing out other things, and that's how you kind of gain that confidence. And that's where, once you get enough confidence, you start asking for the big things. And you start being open to the big things. And in our philosophy, and I will call it philosophy, we call it a spirituality, we call it a philosophy. We try not to call it a religion because it's not really a religion, because we don't have hard and fast rules. We encourage you to ask questions. When you look at our symbol, the circle V, one of the reasons why he uses that V is to indicate, Ernest is who I'm talking about. He uses that V is to indicate that we're open at the top. Ernest said he's not a revealer of truth. What he said is the truth's out there. All we've got to do is find it. And he says every single system on earth that anybody has ever come up with, there's a piece of the truth in there. And so that's why he read everything and encourages us to read everything. When I went through ministerial school, they encouraged us, you had to have so many religion classes. So you take Western religions, mostly Christianity and the various forms of that. You take, I loved the Islam class. The Islam class was amazing. I took Gnosticism, Buddhism, Hinduism. I loved all of that because that's what Ernest says. He says, everybody's got some of the truth. And when you start to dig down into the bare bones of these different systems, that's what you find. Everybody's telling the same story. Everybody says, you know what? There's one. You look at Hinduism and go, how can there just be one? Because it all comes down to it. What the Hindus recognized is that with our finite minds, there's no way for us to encompass the infinity. And so we deal with it on the level that we can. And so that's why we give it all the different names. But it all still comes back to Brahma. It all still comes back to one. And so Ernest is like, ask questions. We are open at the top. There is no one person in our philosophy that has all of the answers. There are people who've been in it a long time, people who've been very successful, people whose lives look like, and we look to them and we go, well, what do you know that I don't know? And they say, well, read this and try it for yourself. And that's the biggest thing. It's like, ask the questions, go to people. If anybody in Science of Mind ever, tries to brush you off on asking a question, they probably don't know, and they might be embarrassed that they don't know. It's like, ask me a question. I'll straight up tell you if I don't know. But what I will also tell you is, let's go find the answer. Let's go, because that's the exploration. And that's part of what I love about Science of Mind is we're constantly road testing and we're constantly experimenting and we're constantly learning new things. And most of the time, the new things we're learning is about ourselves. And that's what makes Science of Mind so amazing. We don't make anybody wrong, ever. As long as you're not hurting yourself or anybody else, you do you. That we're big believers in you do you. And we encourage you to ask the questions. I had a quick conversation with Edward Viljoen, who's the current spiritual leader of Centers for Spiritual Living. And, he's like, you know what? I don't know that answer, but here's where I suggest you go look. And I was like, dude, that's the best answer I could have gotten. I'm thrilled. So she's right. A worthy spiritual philosophy should be able to withstand questioning and testing. Ernest believed that. That is what he taught. Try this stuff. Try this stuff. Emma's one of those big giants in our teaching, but she was like, no, go test this for yourself. Try it out. Try it out. She practiced hardball metaphysics. So, let's see. Inspired. The ground upon which we stand. So we have this wonderful basis of all of these teachers who have come before us. And yet, when you meet, like if you've not read anything by Edward Viljoen, he's an amazing teacher. So our body of work is still growing. All right. I love that God stands ready to enlighten, heal, nurture, support, respond to the open heart of the one who longs for spiritual insight. And that's one of the things that in doing these live streams, that's one of the things that I've learned is I've come to new understandings of the ask and ye shall receive. I've come to understand that the point of asking is to signal our readiness. So even the stuff we think we know, we can learn more about. Never let us shrink from exploring what we believe as we continually move into an ever greater awareness of our spirituality. So I would say the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to do just that. It is to explore. It is to dig a little deeper into everything we think we know and come to that deeper realization and to test it out. Try it. And then feel free to ask questions. Okay, that's the mission today. Explore what you think you already know. You'll learn something new, trust me. The second mission is the same one I give you every day. It is the spiritual practice of doing something loving for yourself, doing something kind for yourself, doing something compassionate for yourself. There are a multitude of different spiritual practices, treatment and meditation and exercise and all of that. So many different kinds of spiritual practices. The loving, kind, compassionate thing is about two things. It is about self-care. Especially if you're going to road test this stuff, self-care is very, very important. It's also about joy. It is about joy. In Science of Mind, we talk about coming into alignment with the qualities of God. Well, joy is one of them. So, loving, kind, compassion. And I was talking about testing things out. That's what this one is. This is testing. You are your best test subject for love, kindness, and compassion. About learning about loving kindness. You are your best test subject. So please, try it out. And it can look like taking a nap. It can look like taking a walk. It can look like taking the day off and running away to Galveston. It can look like eating dessert first. It can look like your husband calling a couple of your friends and having them meet you for dinner on your birthday. That was one of the most loving, kind, and compassionate things he's ever done for me. But it was also, I spoke my truth and said, hey, you know what? I'd like this. And he followed through on it. I spoke up and said, this is what I want. And he says, I'll make that happen. Did he tell me he was going to do it? No, but so practice on yourself. You deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. All right. You are a beloved child of God. You deserve your own love, kindness, compassion. I'll say it every day. All right. The other things are the usual things. Do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like. For you, drink plenty of water. Hydration is super important. Brain works better. If you're going to test the tenets of your faith, hydrate. And get that early in your day bright light. Circadian rhythm. It's kind of dark and cloudy. You could probably see through my back window. But it's not supposed to rain today. So we're going to go have fun. Okay, there's a 30% chance. A little damp never hurt anybody. I got good boots. And circadian rhythms. Look it up. Test my theory about the hormones. And in the words of Ernest Holmes, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you to live in heaven right here, right now. I call it a superpower, but I also encourage you, again, to test it out. Question it. Heaven is a state of mind. It is not a place, but it can be any place because it's a state of consciousness. That's something that you can test. It's also something, if you go back and look in a whole lot of the tenets of faith, or the other systems, they recognize that heaven is a place of consciousness. So try it. You'll like it. All right. And you can always take Emma's advice. Look for the good and praise it. So I think I have covered what I came here to cover. Which means, here we are, the social media part. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark on the social medias we are on. I am the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. I still haven't, I haven't made that video public. Sorry. It just occurred to me I haven't made that video public. It's been a busy week. I will get that done tonight. Late tonight, but it is what it is, right? If you want to know what's going on with the center, email info@creativelife.org. That will get you on the constant contact. That would be a great place to ask questions if you've got them. The hot links in the email are hot. They will take you right to where you want to go or to the person that will get you the information. And so now I get to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, having an adventure day, a wonder-filled day, an amazing day, an awesome day. We're going to see stuff today. A good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day, because you are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God. You are a bright light. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. You are a godling. Always. All right. Know who you are. You are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased and well represented. Okay. So, Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you around 9 a.m. tomorrow, and then we'll have an amazing service for you, because tomorrow is Sunday. Yay! So, take care of yourself, know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.